Hello, hello, traders. Good morning. How are we doing? Hope everybody's doing well. It's Friday. Christmas is around the corner. Holy moly. I can't believe it. Hope you guys are doing well today. My name is Jason Krutzky. It is a pleasure to be with you all this morning. As you guys know, these office hours, we have no agenda here. We're just hanging out. We can look at charts. We can talk TrendSpider tools. What are you guys doing here today? And how can I help you? There's a few of you here. Please say hello. Introduce yourselves. Perhaps some of you are old friends who frequent the channel, frequent the live streams. So please say hello and let me know where you're tuning in from. And if you have any questions, we of course have our excuse me. Let me take that. Let me slow that down a little bit. We have our holiday sale going on right now. You can save up to 72% off on TrendSpider. It's a pretty sweet deal. It's only going to be available for a few more days. If you are not yet a TrendSpider trader and you are considering becoming one, you're considering jumping on the platform, getting an account, this is your opportunity to ask some questions and find out, find out some things that you might be interested in. If you're sitting on the fence, you're thinking about getting a TrendSpider account, what's keeping you from doing so? How can I help? What can I show you that's going to push you over and get you in? What's up, Lynn Ramirez from Virginia? Good morning, Lynn. Well, I guess it's kind of like afternoon for you almost. 11 o'clock there, huh? I very much appreciate you tuning in. I hope you're having a lovely day so far. Can I look at SE or AA? How about we look at both of them? Take a look at SE real quick. Whoa! Lynn! What are you doing looking at this? Oh my gosh. Lynn. What's your idea here, Lynn? All right, you guys know I like to look at seasonality. We want to know kind of how this thing tends to perform historically. Are we in a weak time? Are we in a strong time? Looks pretty mediocre in November, December. You got some weakness in February to contend with. Excuse me, but January tends to be pretty strong. But Lynn, why are we trading this? Why are we trading this? Let's do this. I'm going to see. I just want to see if anything's come in on the unusual options side. That's worth noting. This is a pretty big one. This came in yesterday. 4.5 mil. 12,500 contracts, 65% of the open interest. Puts at the bid. Out of the money puts at the bid. So it's considered bullish because it's at the bid. And they're looking for 35 bucks, $35 strike. So this person is pretty bearish. Here's another big one that came in on the 19th. 7 mil in premium. Almost 7.5 mil in premium. 71% of the open interest on this one. $70 puts. So this person, I don't know. Be selling some premium there. I'm going to zoom into the daily because this weekly looks really, really gross. No lies. Turn off this guy. Now, I guess, maybe perhaps one thing you've got going for this is that they are holding these lows, these $35 lows. So then your thought is, Lynn, oh, you're not in it, you're just mesmerized by it. Well, I will say being mesmerized by it is better than being in it. Is what I would assume here. They're coming up to the top of the range. They filled this little gap today, right? So yeah, it could end here. I think with something like this, you got to just stay focused on like the near-term price action. This big gap down makes sense. From August, you got that anchored VWAP from the big gap down in August. And clearly, it's been an important level multiple times over the past couple of weeks. It's an important level today. Let me see what's up with the volume here. I got these studio lights and I can't see my screens well. Hold on. Not even a ton of volume yet today. I mean, I think, you know, for right now, for the near term, your key levels are essentially where it rejected today. You filled the gap. You've got that anchored VWAP there around 39.5 bucks. It's going to be a pretty important level. And then below that, 35. You know, it's been a really key support. I mean, it makes sense, right? They've held this 35 spot quite a few times. So you would anticipate it continue holding. If they do break down below it, that could be a big problem. And then if they can get up and over this 39.5 spot, then perhaps they could start looking for this gap to fill 42.5 to 45 or so. You might even need to go to a smaller time frame. Let's go to the 2 hour. Huh, interesting. Yeah, as far as whether or not it's going to continue, whether or not it's going to continue, it's got to get up and over that VWAP. Excuse me. That'd be the key spot I'd be watching. If they can get up and over it, maybe give you a little pullback, retest it. Might be another opportunity to take it long. Hard to go long here, though. And then AA, Alcoa. Is this like a miner? Like gold or something? I kind of think it is. Not super familiar with it, but look at where it's getting rejected. You've got these like important, and we could even go maybe to this one. You've got these January, the yearly high. This thing has been fading all year. But when you anchor volume by price to that yearly high, check this out. Look at where your point of control and your VWAP is, right where we rejected today. It's going to be a difficult, or you would anticipate that that's going to be a difficult spot for this thing to get through. At least in the short term, there's a lot of volume coming in over the past, what? I guess this was middle of the month. Tons of volume here. Haven't really seen volume like this. We saw it back in August for a moment there. And then we really haven't seen that kind of volume on this name since December last year, really. Or since the winter of last year, I guess October. But this is going to be key. Where this thing's getting stuck at right now, you can see you got a lot of volume up and over that. You got all of those lows that we're trying to hold. September of 2022. That was the nice low. They bounced it. They couldn't make a new high. They failed. And they tried to hold that low so bad. They tried to hold it, 35 bucks, and they couldn't. And they failed below it. So now, old support, new resistance. For this thing to keep moving, that 35 spot has to flip. They got to get up and over it. They got to come back into it and hold it. And then you'd be looking for potential longs. If you were looking to buy this pullback, or you were looking for a long entry on this one, a couple things that I would do pretty immediately. Let's see what the fibs look like here. Let me update them now. All right. So, I mean, this is another thought too. Excuse me. Let's add 2.618 because I'm not sure where that might be. Yeah, so you've got the 2.618 right there at 35 bucks as well. That extension from this swing. So then what you might want to do is you might want to take a fib and draw it from those lows. We'll just bring it up to the 35. And then you're looking in here, right? You're looking in that 50% retrace kind of area. 50% to 0.618 retrace area is kind of where my head would be at. See what they can do if it comes back to that. If they can hold it, we might want to do an anchored VWAP from these lows. Let's see. Yeah, anchored VWAP from the lows is at about the 50% retrace. How does this thing tend to do? Yeah, so strongest month of the year by far over the past nearly 50 years. More than, yeah, 50 years essentially. December is your strongest month of the year, so perhaps not a huge surprise to see this thing pushing. But again, I'm not sure what Alcoa does. I'm almost certain that they are a miner. But I could be wrong. Pittsburgh-based industrial corporation, world's 8th largest producer of aluminum. All right, there you go. Feels like a tough spot to be long. I can tell you that. But congratulations to longs that caught it over the past week. Pretty impressive move off those lows. Almost 50%. All right, Lynn. Deep dive lot. Salute to the chat. You think Zuck sold Meta to buy? I mean, that's what it seems like, right? The numbers seem to line up pretty perfectly. 270 mil. It was like 100 and what they say. It was 1,400 acres of land on Hawaii, somewhere. I don't know where. I don't know the specifics, but 1,400 acres of land for 100 mil he paid for the land, and then the home, the bunker, 30 bedrooms and 30 bathrooms is what I read. It's a hotel underground. And he's paying 170 mil for it. I mean, I get it. You know, 270 mil for Zuck, probably not very much money. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how a guy like that thinks about money. Does he think 270 million is a ton of money to spend? Or does it not even like occur to him? Is it like an afterthought? 270 million, whatever. But I will say this about Zuck, and I said it in that video. The man was selling, and I don't have we can't see the insider data anymore, but back in 2021, dude was selling like crazy from like May to August of 2021. May to August of 2021. Here's May. And here's August. Dude was selling like crazy. Over $1 billion in shares from May to August of 2021. What happened after? I say it in the video. 77% drawdown on the stock. So is he just selling to fund his new home? His bunker? Or is he selling... Is he just being... Yeah, does he know something that we don't know? I don't know. I you know, the peaceful person in me hopes that he's just selling to buy his bunker. But he wasn't wrong last time. That's for sure. He freaking nailed it last time. Did he not? I'd be curious to know what his shares... I mean, they would have been... Did he have TrendSpider? I mean, you know, it's always my assumption, Randy. It's always my assumption that big corporations, and even small corporations, anybody who has a publicly traded company has a technical analysis person at least available to them. Because it just happens too often where key news information comes out at key levels. And maybe it's just how it works. Maybe it's just the understanding of the masses. But it certainly feels like key moves come at key times, or key news announcements and these sorts of things come at really important spots on the chart. How does that happen? Does that happen just by nature, by the nature of every mind that's involved in market making, understanding? I don't know. Friends high? What's friends high? For free, allegedly because they want to catch shorts. They had Hindenburg short attack a few times. Who had Hindenburg short attack? Alzheimer's drug with lots of promise. Who are you talking about? Lynn? Friends high up in Wall Street. I mean, you know, these guys know. You got to remember, right? Markets are like the markets are the expression of everything that is known, everything that is assumed, everything that is guesstimated. The only thing that's not in a market at any given time is an unknown unknown. So, I don't know. I don't know if it's the wisdom of the masses or if it's straight up Zuckerberg knew that a market crash was coming somehow and he decided to sell the top. It's going to be really interesting, though, to see what they do if they do continue to grind a little bit higher. There's a little bit higher it could go. Nice little fair value gap up to like 372. But they did technically make a new low relative to this guy and relative to this guy and relative to this guy. Now they could have just been taken, you know, you had tons of stops down here. What is this music? Hold on, let me change this song. We'll keep it, never mind. You'd never heard Randy. All right, hold on one second. Pop Islandia. Hi, do you still have the budget Excel you said in Twitter? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Budget Excel. Can you clarify on that? Who is Nick Shaheen? I've never heard of Nick Shaheen. All right, so let's talk about the software real quick. You want me to give you like a 10-minute platform overview? I can do that, Randy. And then if you see anything that you're more interested in, just let me know. And we could focus on something or two. So Randy, the big idea behind TrendSpider, you have to think about what traders do all day, right? First off, what do traders do? They do a couple of things. They analyze charts, they scan for opportunities, they create alerts for things that they might be interested in the future that haven't happened yet, and they test strategies, right? Like that's what we do all day. If we're not directly looking at a chart, monitoring price action, we're probably like searching for opportunities, or we're finding those opportunities and just setting alerts, or we're testing our strategies. And in order to do all of those things, historically, you need quite a few different tools. You need a charting software. You might need a scanner of some kind. You might need some peripheral data like unusual options data or something like that. You might need some fundamental data or news feed of some kind. You might subscribe to another trader's alerts, right? Or like a Discord or something like that to get ideas. And all of those things cost money, and all of those things are all over the place. And so the idea behind TrendSpider is we are building a tool that can do basically all that stuff in one place. So when we talk about chart analysis, on chart analysis, you know, you've got a couple of things there. You've got candlestick patterns, you've got chart patterns, you've got things like trend lines, fibs, your indicators, right? And all of that stuff is how you determine where you want to be taking trades. So we have a bunch of tools here at the top of the platform that help with that. These tools up here are really kind of meant to help traders who don't know how to draw their own things, but also allow traders to remove some of their, personal biases. So one thing that's available is Autofibs. Autofibs are going to automatically plot a fib sequence on the most recently completed move per the time frame. This is what we call an auto analysis tool. So auto analysis tools, you don't have to do anything. You just turn them on and they do the thing that that they're supposed to do. They draw the thing, or they measure out the thing, or whatever. So Autofibs, you'll notice as I switch time frames, the fib sequence moves per the time frame. You can adjust the levels however you want. You can reverse the direction of the fibs, but they're always going to plot in the opposite direction of move. So if the move is up, the fibs are going to plot down, right? You've got auto trend lines. Now, I know this looks kind of crazy, so let me go to a bit of a simpler looking view here. Auto trend lines automatically plot the most powerful trend lines occurring on any time frame. So they're mathematically sound trend lines, as opposed to the trend lines that many folks like to draw on their own. The thing about drawing your own anything is that there is a bit of bias that can come into play. And bias is good in terms of developing ideas. You know, you got to have some bias to like develop an idea, but sometimes that bias can get you in trouble. So that's what really these tools are all about. So auto trend lines, real quickly, I'll show you. Auto trend lines finds literally every trend line that's occurring on the chart. There are thousands of these things here. And then it filters them down based on the math that you define. You don't have to define any math. We have pre-built math, but you can actually get very specific. We won't go into details on that, but if you want to, you can get very specific. Of course, we have a bunch of indicators. We're not going to talk about those too much. The platform can automatically identify candlestick patterns, and by being able to automatically identify candlestick patterns, you can then use these candlestick patterns, and you see there's hundreds of them, in your scans, in your strategies, in your alerts. You can be alerted for these patterns. You can scan for them in real time and so on. Right now, I've got all engulfing patterns highlighted. We've got chart patterns, auto discovery, auto detection of chart patterns, from broadening patterns to channels, double top, double bottom, head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, triangles and wedges. So on this particular time frame, it happens to be identifying this rising wedge. If we were to go to another time frame, we see a lot of things. You got a potential double top that didn't play out. You had an old inverted head and shoulders that did play out. You've got a rising wedge that they're trying to break out of here. You've got a broadening range in this blue lines. So some of these are irrelevant now, but you know, some of them might help you in your analysis. And again, just like with the candlestick patterns in the scanner, you can look for different chart pattern. You can scan for chart pattern setups. So let's say falling wedge breakouts. I always like to point to falling wedge breakouts because I know a lot of people like to trade them. So this is like a pre-built falling wedge breakout. Automatically identifies those bad boys. Let me turn all these off. Just gonna put up the falling wedge just so you can kind of see what it's identifying. We don't want to be cluttered here with stuff. So there's your falling wedge and there's your breakout, right? So if you are a chart pattern trader looking for specific chart pattern setups, you can utilize our scanner to find them instantly. Pretty sweet. We have what we call heat maps. Heat maps show us a couple of different things. I like the horizontal version. There's a couple of different types. Horizontal looks for price going sideways, essentially, right? Looks for horizontal levels of potential support resistance where price had previously made the same highs or lows over you know, over a period of candles. So it's highlighting this little area. That little area came into play yesterday on this name. So those are the auto analysis tools. They can be very, very helpful, especially if you have trouble identifying patterns on your own, or if you have trouble identifying where you should be drawing things. They could be pretty helpful. On the right-hand side, there's some fundamental information over here, and then there's some technical information as well. So things like analyst estimates. We can instantly see everything that's going on with analysts here. We could see news. We could see seasonality. Seasonality can be broken down in a lot of different ways. By default, this is just green or red months, or days of the week, or hours of the day, or weeks of the year. So you can find, you know, certain weeks that tend to perform the best. This KMX had a really good week a couple weeks ago, or a historically really good week a couple weeks ago. So you could think of this as like, you know, if you have a really bad week, a week that tends to perform really poorly, followed by a week that tends to perform quite well, you know, potentially you want to be looking for long opportunities to sell into that. Long opportunities during the weak performing week to sell into the strength, the potential strength of the following week, and so on. That goes for all those time frames: day, week, month, and hour. You've got Insider. This is what we were showing with Zuck moments ago. It's up-to-date insider information. Looks like he sold another 16.4 mil on the 20th. It's the most recent sell. Lucky guy. Wouldn't mind having 16.4 mil myself. You've got unusual options data. This is the last 250 unusual options orders that came in to the stock. You see, pretty bullish looking. You know, you got green and red dots. The green dots are calls, the red dots are puts. The size of the dot suggests the size of the order. You see these orders are 1.5 mil, 2.2 mil. These smaller ones are 275,000, right? The really small ones, 40,000. So this gives you like a dot plot of how unusual options are stacking up and where, because you can see time. So this is for April, 250 calls expiring in April. It's the biggest order out of the most recent 250 that have come in. So these tools over here, these widgets, are just meant to give you some of that peripheral data that you might hunt elsewhere for. We talked very briefly about the market scanner. Inside the market scanner, you can scan for all of these different types of items, and you can scan for them all together, right? There's no rules around. You can only scan for price conditions, right? You can scan for price conditions, indicator conditions, candlestick pattern conditions, chart pattern conditions, earnings, dividends, splits, news, the whole bop shebang. And none of this is, you don't need to know any code to do any of this. Does the platform also interface with TradingView, or is it standalone? Well, it doesn't interface with TradingView. TradingView is just another charting platform. Why would we need to interface with TradingView? Does your software include all algos and send out trading alerts for sweeps, dark pools, breakouts, scalps, crypto signals, high percentage short-term trades, etc.? So it can send out alerts, but you would have to create them. So there are certain things that you can create alerts for, and there are certain things that you can't. When it comes to options, there is not a way to scan for, or rather alert on options. But if you go to the assistant and you say all unusual, or let's say, let's do it this way. Well, I'm going to grab all unusual options. So the assistant is an AI tool, And it's your way of kind of more easily navigating around the platform. So I'm going to say search for all unusual options. I'm going to close down all these widgets so that we can just see this specifically. And I'm going to open this up nice and wide. And then we're going to go to filter here. And I'm going to add filter. And I'm going to say tags. Contains all of sweep. Say apply. And so here, now you have a live, up-to-date, this thing will update in real time, list of all sweep orders coming through the tape. And this is an unfiltered list as far as like the tickers that it's sharing, right? So I can't create an alert on this, but I can have this in the bottom of my screen just as a monitoring tool. Perhaps in the future, we'll be able to create alerts on this. I'm not certain. But you can filter this even more. So like what I would do here is I would say above ask, sweeps above the ask. Just because if they're paying above the ask, they really want it, you know? You can even filter it by premium. So I'd say premium is maybe greater than or equal to $500,000 or something. I don't know, whatever dollar amount makes sense for you. And so there you go. There's your over 500 Gs sweeps above the ask. You can see how that really reduced the amount of tickers here. Now we're looking at December 20th. So nothing's come in over the past 2 days that meets that particular requirement. So maybe we need to filter this down a little bit more, maybe 100,000 instead of 500,000. Yeah, so now we've got some stuff coming in, or stuff that's coming today. Why not? What's up, man? Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. So anyway, Randy, to answer your question about like, there are certain things that you can and can't do. So it's not going to automatically just send you signals for stuff. Can you trade directly from the platform? I need to find out if this is still in beta or if this has gone live, because I personally do have the ability. I'm an employee here. I don't think that we've officially announced this because I think we're still testing it. But there are a couple of things you can do, Randy. So we do have if this is not yet live, I need to find out. I feel bad that I don't know this, and I need to know this. We do have trading live from the platform coming. If it's not live already, it should be live, I don't know, anytime, because it's been in beta for maybe a couple of weeks now. But we also offer trading bots. So a tool that I didn't get to, Randy, was the strategy tester. Strategy tester is exactly what you would imagine it being. You know, it's your way to build strategies and test those strategies in the platform before you go, you know, taking a trade. So lately I've been liking using this example on Apple. It performs quite well relative to the asset. It's a strong strategy that's pretty safe historically, and we could talk about it if you want to. I've made a video on it. You can go to our page. You're already on our page. If you look through the technical analysis series, there's a video on this strategy for another time if you want to watch it. So in here, if I wanted to, I could go launch this trading bot, and I could connect this to a order router. We have one. Excuse me, it's called Signal Stack. But there are others. You don't have to use ours. And really simply with a webhook, you can connect your brokerage to this strategy using webhooks. Pretty easy. It takes just a couple of minutes. All in. And then this strategy can just run in the background and buy and sell. The order routing engine will buy and sell for you. Well, I think the strength of the software is in everything. It's not just the pre-built scanner capabilities and the backtesting, although those are two really powerful tools for sure. I think it's in all of that stuff. And it's really all about your skill level and what you need a platform to do, right? We're going to be bringing a ton of new fundamental data to the platform really soon. I don't have a specific date on it, but they've told me about it. So that means it's coming really soon. Usually they don't tell me anything until it's like about to arrive. Signal Stack is sometimes included. I believe right now you can get Signal Stack for a period of time. If you go to, let me see really quick. Let's see what the deal is right now. So you get free features data and more. What is the and more? I wonder if James is here. James, if you're here, and you may not be, but if you are here, you're focused primarily in options. Gotcha. So one thing to know about Signal Stack is your broker directory. This is what you want to keep an eye on. So in your broker directory, only certain brokers allow you to trade options using our bots. So Tradier, Auto Shares, E-Trade, Interactive Brokers, Lime, Tasty Trade, TradeStation. So a lot of the big ones, but there are some that don't allow it just yet. So if that's something that you're interested in, I would say do make sure that that your brokerage is covered in that way. And also, just so there's not any confusion about options, we're talking about unusual options here. Unusual options are anything that is over $25,000 in premium, or at least that's how we're filtering them. So you're not going to be able to see a 100% all options coming in at any given time on any name. It's all unusual options, or it's the most recent 250 unusual options orders. So if you have a big heady day when, you know, there's lots of volatility on a name and lots of orders, you might only see today's unusual options buys and sells, right? If it's just a normal kind of time, then they might stick around for a little while, but it's the most recent 250 of them. It doesn't look like, when we run sales, oftentimes we'll do like bundles. Over the course of a sale, we may do a couple of different bundles. And the other day we had Signal Stack to go along with it, and it looks like these are changing. Looks like that's changed. Looking for large options. Yeah, there you go. So that's how I would do it, is I would just pop over here in what's happening now, and I would do exactly this, what we just did. So you've got sweeps above the ask. You can put a premium in there. You can define days till expiry, strike price, open interest. Lots of ways that you can do this. But I kind of think this is where your money's at. This is kind of the sweeps above the ask. It feels to me like the most, you know, like a trader is, it's the most dire state of a trader. If they're sweeping above the ask, they're looking for it all over the place. They're just pulling from any exchange that has it available, and they're willing to pay up for it. So those seem kind of like the most important ones to me. But, you know, you might have a little bit more experience with it than I even do. So you might look for something even more specific. And I would imagine that at some point we're going to be able to scan for this stuff. I don't know exactly when that might happen, but we're kind of constantly iterating. That's one thing that you will find about us, is that there's always kind of something new coming. So I don't know, Randy, do you feel like you have a relatively decent understanding of things? Do you want to dig in on any of these tools in particular? Can you set up screeners on stock trades to alert you automatically, for example, triple crossover? Yeah, of course. So like, is a triple crossover like several moving averages crossing? Like, give me a very specific thing that you want, Randy. And I'll show you how to build it. Yeah, so let's say, and you're probably gonna hit me with something here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to, we have a couple of different types of alerts you can create on the platform. I'll start showing you kind of one of them while I await your thoughts here. Okay, cool. The 21, the 50, the 200. So let me throw this up here. Make these a little bit bigger so we can see them. Okay, so here's your 3 moving averages, right? On the platform, you can create alerts on any on-chart item for the most part. So if I wanted to create just a single alert on a single moving average, I can right-click on it and say create alert. I'd have to define the type of trigger. I could choose all the triggers. I could choose 2 of them. You know, do what makes sense for you. Just make sure you do understand what each of these means. There's a little definition between or underneath each title, and there's a visual demonstration or visual graphic of what each trigger is looking for. Anyway, we won't get into the fine details there, but just know you can create an alert on any on-chart item, indicators, trend lines, and these sorts of things, fib levels. You can define the sensitivity of the alert, so like where price has to be relative to that particular thing in order to get the alert. You can choose an area around it. You could choose just exactly the indicator or the line or what have you. You choose your time frame for the alert down to the 5 minute. You could choose your expiration. How long does the alert live in your system? Depending on the plan, up to, I believe, 90 days is the max. But depends on the plan that you choose. My music, where'd it go? Come back. Hold on. Let's get some music going again. There we go. So quiet in here. And you can choose how many times you want to be triggered on it. So if this is an instance that you're looking for all the time, you could choose like up to 20 triggers. That means over the next 20 times that instance happens, you're going to get an alert to let you know. Couple of different ways. Yeah, they pop up on the screen. They can send to your phone. They can send to your email. Yeah, Randy. Now, so that's an alert on an individual item. But if you want to create an alert on a triple crossover, you have to utilize what we call multi-factor alerts. And multi-factor alerts utilize scripts. These scripts are how you build your scanners, how you build your strategy testers. So you're going to see that if you build something one place, you can take that thing and move it and use it all over the platform. So if you're looking for a triple crossover, give me exactly what you're looking for. You're looking for the 21 crossing up on the 50 and the 50 crossing up on the 200, or like what exactly is it? Or are you wanting to define where they are relative to one another? Whatever you decide, whatever your way is, we could say indicator. And this is another thing to note about the platform. The platform is no code required to build any of this stuff. So you just define it in plain English, how you would think about it. So if you want to say the daily 21 is crossing up on the daily 50, it's going to walk you through it. So we say daily, we're going to grab the 21. We pick the definer here, and we can scroll down to where it says crossed up. And then what's it crossing up on? Well, it's crossing up on an indicator, right? Because the 50 is an indicator too. So we say indicator, we choose the time frame for the indicator, and then we select the 50. So here's the 21 crossing up on the 50, right? If you wanted to add another cross up there, pick your time frame, pick your indicator, choose cross up, indicator, time frame, and indicator. So here's the 21 crossing up on the 50, 21 crossing up on the 200. And now we're defining that both of these things have happened on the exact same candle. This is probably a pretty rare occurrence, right? This probably isn't going to happen very often, if ever at all. It's going to be hard to find this happening. So it's going to be hard to find this happening on the same candle. So then it comes to a question of like, are there looser rules that you want to define? And you can. So you can say things like happened within X candles, maybe within the past 10 candles. You can also say instead of all of the following, you can make it any of the following so that either of these cross-ups have occurred within the last 10 candles, right? You can take this another step. I know this isn't your triple cross, but I'm just telling you, like, the triple cross is easy to define. I'm showing you kind of what else you can do. So what if I wanted to say like, this is true, but I also wanted to say that the 50 didn't cross up on the 200. Well, I can add a condition group, and I can define a condition group another way. So I could say indicator, daily, 50, crossed up on indicator, daily, 200, and none of the following is defined. So it did not cross up on the 50 on the 50 did not cross up on the 200, but the 21 did cross up on the 50 within the past 10 candles. And because all of the following is defined, then both of these have to be true. And I could just keep on going with this with different things that I need, different requirements, whatever those requirements might be. Once this is built how I want it to be built, short-term price movement, 9/21/50. What do you want to say about the 9 and the 21 and the 50? Like what we may want to say here. Like my thinking is like, you know, whatever. I'm just going to change these. So we'll say the 21 greater than indicator 50. I'm going to duplicate these. I'm going to say 50. I'm just doing some shorthand stuff. Right, so the 21 is greater than the 50. The 50 is greater than the 200. We could also, if we really wanted to, well, we don't even have to because that's defined. And then we could say maybe, we could say, let's say 15. We'll do the 21 and we'll choose this price is broke through it. Right? So now we're saying, now we've got the 21 is greater than the 50. The 50 is greater than the 200. Price is broken through the 21. And then last thing, we'll say price 15-minute close less than indicator 15-minute 21. And then right here, I'm going to make this one candle ago. So one candle ago, price was below the 21. On the current candle, price is broken through the 21, and the 21 is greater than the 50. The 50 is greater than the 200. Right, so they're all in alignment. Your three moving averages are in alignment, and price is broken through the shortest term one. So call this whatever you want. Alignment and breakthrough. Choose again how long it's going to live in your system, however long you want. We'll just do the max. And then choose how many triggers. So how many times do you want to be, how many times can these conditions be met and you want to be alerted on them? Ooh, let's also remove that. Make it just happened. This has all happened on the current candle. So what the triggers is saying is that the next 20 times these conditions are true, you're going to get an alert to let you know. So I say create alert, and bang, that alert is living now on Apple. Here it is. Alignment and breakthrough. So the next time these conditions are true, I'm going to get an alert to let me know. They don't look like they're going to be true today, just based on where those indicators are at right now, where price is relative to them. But that's the idea. Now, if you wanted to take that alert a step farther, maybe you have 10 names that you're interested in getting that alert on. Switch to the next name that you want to get the alert on. So here's AMD. Come over to the alert that we just made on Apple. Click this icon right here. This is the copy, essentially, icon. And notice how it says now create multi-factor alert on AMD. It's got the exact same conditions we just built for Apple, but now we're putting it on AMD. So I'm going to just remove this copy from the title. Everything else is the exact same. Expiry is the same. Triggers are the same. Conditions are the same. Say create alert. And now that same exact alert is on AMD. You can't get an alert on a scan, but I can do this. So if I take these conditions and I click on the 3 dots right here and I say save as template, it's going to open up the script manager. So let's save this thing, call it alignment and breakthrough, and say save. Close out of here. I'm going to go to my visual scripts and I'm going to hunt alignment. Here's alignment and breakthrough. This is the script we just made, right? So now I can take this script and I can come down here and I can say send to. I could send it to alerts. It's already there. Or we already did that, right? I could send it to the strategy tester as an entry condition. I can send it to the strategy tester as an exit condition. I can send it to the market scanner. So I'm going to send it to the scanner. So here are those conditions that we just built inside the scanner now. I choose the list I want to scan through. Let's say the S&P 500. Excuse me. Put the current candle toggle on, and we're going to see if anything's meeting this criteria. And there you go. Custom time frames, Craig, not possible. The way that I would look for all stocks, type in NYSE, use the composite, NYSE composite index list, or the NMS, NASDAQ NMS composite. You cannot scan both of these lists at the exact same time. You do have to select a list. But the custom time frames is not possible right now. The 3 biggest lists on the platform are going to be the NMS composite, the NYSE composite, and the Russell 2K. What's the level of support and training? All right, so a couple of different things here. First off, right here behind my head, this contact us button. You see how it's this orange button here? This is live chat support. You'll get there, why not? That's what I'm here for. You know, ask questions. That's what these guys are here for too. So, Randy, you've got live chat support Monday through Sunday. Every day there is somebody live. During the week, they're live about 20 hours a day. On the weekends, about 8 hours a day, as far as I know. That's the latest that I know to be true. So there's almost always a product expert available that can help you with a question. I do these lives a couple times a week. So anytime you have questions about the platform, you want to ask them in a live session, you're welcome to tune in and we can go over whatever questions you have. We also offer one-on-one training. It does cost a few bucks. I think it's like maybe $50 for an hour or something like that. But I wouldn't really recommend the one-on-one training unless you have something very, very specific that you need to learn how to do that's complex. You know, I mean, or, you know, if you learn better having a one-on-one period of time. A lot of questions can be answered using chat because you can literally ask them anything. It's not like, I don't know. You can ask them anything. You know, if you're trying to build out a strategy, you have the strategy that you want to define, but you don't know how to define it. Ask them to help you. They can help you. If you're, I don't know, if you're stuck on something, whatever it might be, just hit them up and ask. Honestly, I think it's like a wildly undersold piece of our platform, if I'm really honest about it. Like, you don't get live support that's free in many places. But Craig, welcome. Really glad to have you on board. And as far as the unique time frames, the custom time frames, perhaps maybe that's something that we'll do in the future. I don't really know. Did you have any other, Craig, did you have any other questions you were looking to get answered today? Sure. Flute. What you got? You do not have to have Signal Stack. You can use any order routing engine. You just need something that you can connect webhooks. The Schwab Thinkorswim configuration is not live yet. It's an issue on their end. It's just taking forever. I'm not certain when we're gonna be able to connect with them, but that's on their end, not ours. Unfortunately. I have a Thinkorswim account too, so I'm right there with you. It's my main trading account is Thinkorswim. So I haven't even gotten to use my main account yet. I'm waiting with bated breath. But yeah, Fluty. What you got on the backtest idea? Talk about crypto? What do you want to talk about? Okay, right on. Scanner analysis tools, of course. Yeah, they work with crypto. The way that I utilize them, this is what I do. So I have a pre-built Coinbase list that I made. But if you show you crypto lists. So here's all of your crypto. The thing about the crypto lists, you have lists that are just the individual name or the individual pair across all the exchanges that it's available on. And then you scroll down to the bottom of that list, and then you have the exchanges themselves. So perhaps maybe this is one you'd want to utilize, this Coinbase Pro, all spot symbols. So it would work the exact same way. I'm just going to use this guy. So here's all the tickers that are meeting that particular criteria we just defined for that alert. Looks like some of these are better setups than others, but anyway, anything you would want to do on or with crypto, it's all going to work the exact same way. Let me see. I think KuCoin is on there. Yeah. And then as far as like the analysis tools, course, they all work too. Alerts all work. Everything works the exact same way. So turn off scan or turn off the indicators real quick just so you can kind of see. Here's your fibs. Looks like AMD meeting that criteria right now. here's an example of an alert that just came through. I don't know if you heard the beeping, but it does beep as well. So here's your auto fibs on Solana. Here's your auto trends on Solana. I don't know if there's any chart patterns. This thing's been up only for a bit. Oh, I don't even have any turned on right now, actually. There's you a nice little broadening pattern that the platform's identifying on the 5-minute. There's some channels. Looks like a channel and a rising, ascending broadening. Anywho, yes. Crypto works great with crypto. So we are at the hour point. Oftentimes, whoever is here that has tuned in before, hour is usually what I'll do live. Any other questions from you, Randy? Randy, let me do this too. Let me show you this. Excuse me, Randy. There is a link. I just sent you a link to a very short video or a quick video about how to connect your account with SignalStack. Excuse me, gosh. I'll give you this too. That's just the main SignalStack YouTube page. So if you want to dig into a little bit more, SignalStack is an order router. So it can connect, it connects a trading platform. Yep, it connects a trading platform to your broker. You don't have to, it's not, what's the word? TrendSpider agnostic? Is agnostic the right word? Like, you don't have to use TrendSpider to use SignalStack. You can be on TradingView and use SignalStack if you want. Or Tradeovate. Like, you'll see there are some videos on connecting other trading platforms as well. The integrations are all a little bit different. You know, integrating TradingView to SignalStack is like a totally different experience than integrating TrendSpider and SignalStack. Why is it not included with the subscription? Well, because they're two unique products. So, and sometimes it is. It just depends. Sometimes you feel like we're extended on Bitcoin. I mean, short term, it's maybe a little hard to argue otherwise, but interesting. So this is kind of where my head's at on it. You got the fibs from the all-time high down to the November low. You've only retraced 50% of that entire move. So this is kind of a logical place where it might stall and pause and chill for a little while. Where are we at? 80% in 4 months. Let's see. So check this out. Or actually, let's make that the high. So price high of the current candle greater than price low 4 candles ago by at least, let's say, 75%. And then let's look out 12 months. How many times has it had a 80% move in 4 months? Check this out. It's happened a lot, as you can see. 7 times in history. This is in many positions. You know, you're talking about monthly time frame, so it's not a ton of information. 86% win rate a year later. Average return 124.55%. So if this move follows the average track of the moves that preceded it, in the best case scenario, that puts you at close to 100 grand by June next year. That's kind of crazy. Randy, you could hit up the support team via that contact us button and see what they could do for you. I don't know. Maybe they'd be able to make something happen for you. I don't know. I mean, this is pretty compelling information, right? Stephanos? This is just proof that when you have a big move, like the one we've just had over the past 4 months, it's not uncommon for that move to continue. And what it looks like right now, you know, off of those December 2020 lows is we're in a position right now, but it's off of those December 2022 lows. So you had an 80% move through August, or through April rather. And notice how we're following the bottom of the track. The thing isn't even moving quite as like powerfully as it did historically. The top of this cloud is kind of like the best case scenario historically. The bottom of the cloud is the worst case scenario historically. And we're kind of following the pattern track of the bottom of the cloud, so pretty interesting. So last call, y'all. I'm gonna be getting out of here shortly. Last call for questions. Anybody got any questions about anything? Need any assistance? Randy, do you feel like you have a good understanding of what's possible? Do you have any other questions for me? If no, no pressure. Don't call them. Just chat with them. Hit that contact us button, and then here, I'm going to move my head so you can see. Just right here. Hey guys, I have a question about Signal Stack. Just write them. And you don't have to have an account with us in order to reach out to them. Right here, you'll see this at the bottom of TrendSpider. If you just go to TrendSpider.com, you'll see this little button. Click that. Goes to the same place. Well, Stephanos, top of the Bollinger Band, generally is pretty bullish. So I'm just going to add them to my charts. Yeah, so John Bollinger says that moves like this is actually really bullish. This is what you expect in strong uptrends, is price to kind of ride the upper Bollinger Band. Randy, give it a moment, sir. They will respond to you. I don't think it's going to take that long. I think that those are preventative measures so that if they're really slammed, it allows them time to get back to you. But I don't think that they're really slammed right now, or my gut is that they're not. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Give me 1 second, Randy. Hold on. I'm reaching out to the manager of the team directly. Looks like he might be on a call. Let me also reach out. Still working on this, Randy. Okay, so it does sound like they are super busy. Let me see. Web-based only, Randy. There is not a downloadable desktop version. All right, so it sounds like, Randy, it sounds like we might be able to hook you up with a period of time, a couple months of Signal Stack. We do. Yeah. And the mobile app is about to be like a whole new world as of next week. There you go, Randy. James is going to help you out from here. James is head of our customer success team. What's that funny song again? All right, so I'm going to take my hands off the wheel here, Randy, with you, and I'm going to let James take over. So send in your phone number via chat. James will give you a call. How much time do I think you should spend a day on charts? Stephanos, that is a wildly difficult question to answer, man. I have no idea. I guess it just depends on like what are you trying to trade? What's your skill level? How fired up and inspired are you? You know? Merry Christmas, Randy. Back at you, buddy. Hopefully you guys can get it all worked out. I don't know, Stephanos. That's a really tough question. Because there are days when I'll spend hours. And there are days when I will spend 1 minute. And it just depends, you know? How many tickers are you trading? How often are you trading? All of that stuff can be important in... I don't know. I would say, you know, the longer you spend... looking at charts and analyzing price action and, you know, all that sort of stuff, the more you're going to get out of it. You know, I don't think it's like diminishing returns. That's kind of how I feel about it. There's always something more you can learn. There's always something that you can discover. And... as long as you're inspired to do so, you know, then shoot, sky's the limit, really. But there are no rules. Just know, I think, that you get out of it what you put into it. That's what I think, Stephanos. So anyway, y'all, I am going to get out of here for real this time. If you guys can do me a favor, though, hit me with some likes. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. All of those subs, you know, I know it's silly, but they do really help me. They let my team know that these are worthwhile and worth doing and that you guys enjoy them and find them helpful, you know. So if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. And yeah, I will see you guys on the opposite side of the holidays. I hope everybody has an awesome holiday. Merry Christmas to those who celebrate. Happy Hanukkah. You know, happy Kwanzaa. Happy all of the things. Happy holidays to everyone. Holler if you need me. You know where to find me. I'll leave my... here's my Twitter. I won't be available much during the weekend, but hit me up if you need something. Have a great weekend. If you're trading today, trade them well. You got a couple hours left. And again, have a great holiday. And we will see you guys soon. All right. Bye-bye.